So thank you all for joining us. We're glad to welcome you to our webinar. My name is Ifat. I'm a business development manager at Argentum.
Hello, my name is Caroline. I'm a client strategist at Argentum. I'm currently trying to turn on my camera. Sorry for the technical issue.
No worries. We'll see everybody soon enough. So in the meantime, let's explain a bit about Argentum, okay? Argentum actually specializes in EU research and innovation funding. The company was established in 1999, and since then we've had a vast experience and gained expertise in obtaining governmental funding for innovative technologies, for research and development as well. We have about 30 employees at this point, divided into 3 departments that include strategy, business development, and a consulting and writing team. It's actually our objective to become the leading expert in cooperation between overlapping technological sectors in the EU as well as beyond. So we assist companies from different sectors to achieve non-dilutive funding for R&D purposes in the EU. And it is our vision to target innovative funding opportunities and to enhance participation and success in multinational research and innovation projects. We're actually aligned with the EU's Commission goals and work closely with the national contact points in order to deepen the understanding of the EU's directives, guidelines, and value chains. The EU's budget for the year 2021 to 2027 is actually 1.21 trillion euros. And you can see how it is distributed in the donut chart in the slide. So it's about 12% from single market innovation and digital, 36% cohesion, resilience, and values, 33% for natural resources and environment, and 10% for other programs, with 9% for neighborhood and the world. So the basic idea behind our multi-submission strategy is to make the effort to link between the 3 different funding levels, and our unique method delivers such a comprehensive and inclusive strategy to our clients. We'll come back to this a bit later, but it's important to understand that we're basically a one-stop shop and taking care of all the options in the grant world for you while making sure you don't miss out on any opportunities. So now I'll hand the mic over basically to Caroline, so you can tell us a bit about how this works from a strategic point of view. And I'll just make her host. 1 minute. I'm here. Go ahead.
Thank you, Yifat. So from a strategic point of view, as a client at Argentum, we ensure you to get a personalized service with regular meetings throughout the year. The initial step starts with a kickoff meeting in order to discover the assets and to develop projects for your company. With all this information, our strategists will suggest to you the open calls that you can target throughout the year according to your priorities and timelines. And once you have decided which calls you want to apply for, we will set a schedule together for the year to come and we'll transfer you to our professional team who will write the proposals. They will need your responsiveness in order to receive all the materials needed and to submit on time. This process is in constant evolution, growing with your projects and your developments, and also regarding the launch of new promising calls. And our role as strategists is to guide you throughout the submission process and to maximize your chances of funding success.
So it keeps changing basically the process.
Yes, it is important to point out that the process is always adaptable, and as a long-term client, we are always on the lookout for new publications that are a suitable match to your company's strategy.
So this was pretty general, and this webinar is actually also specifically for Dutch companies, which is very gezellig for everybody here. For people not speaking Dutch, I mean, it's very nice for everyone. But let's talk a bit about the different funding mechanisms and the criteria, as well as the specific relevance for Dutch companies.
So during the strategic process, we target potential call for proposals on both European, intergovernmental, and the national level. These funding mechanisms have different procedures. For some call, you apply as an independent partner, some as a collaboration with one other partner, and some with bigger consortia. For example, in collaborative projects for EU funding schemes, there's usually an eligibility requirement for the size of the consortium, at least 3 participants from 3 different countries. And our team of strategists has gathered more than 120 funding sources in order to match your funding need with the correct funding direction.
Yeah, so there's a lot of funding opportunities out there on different levels, also specifically for Dutch companies. Let's dive into some examples to give a better understanding.
We will make now a difference between the national funding opportunities and the European ones. First of all, it's important to mention that there are many different directions, both called bottom-up and top-down. When a call for proposal is specified as bottom-up, it means there is a national interest for economic and employment growth in general, which means open for all or most thematic fields, in contrast to top-down, when there is a specific topic of national interest. And note aside, the difference between bottom-up and top-down calls do also apply for EU funding, which is then, of course, comes from an EU interest, which will be mentioned later. First of all, regarding the national funding schemes, we would like to point out the first one is the RVO, in Dutch, Rijksdienst voor Ondernemend Nederland, in English, the Netherlands Enterprise Agency. The RVO helps entrepreneurs and organizations to invest, develop, and expand their businesses and projects, both in the Netherlands and abroad. The second example that I want to point out is the NWO, Nederlandse Organisatie voor Wetenschappelijk Onderzoek, in English, the Dutch Research Council. Each year, the NWO invests almost 1 billion euros in curiosity-driven research, research related to social challenges, and research infrastructure. Some examples for open calls at the RVO, the Netherlands Enterprise Agency, which is focused on technical, risky, promising, and innovating projects, is an open call for proposal, the Alternative Fuels Infrastructure Facility. There's a total budget of 25.8 million euros. And to be eligible, you will need a bilateral collaboration with one of the partner countries. The deadline is in September for just a project idea, and the final submission only in November of this year. The second example of the RVO is a call for proposal called DHI Subsidy Scheme. In Dutch, it stands for Demonstratieprojecten, Haalbaarheidsstudies en Investeringsvoorbereidingsprojecten. In English, demonstration projects, feasibility studies, and investment preparation projects. There's a total available budget of 8.5 million euros, and eligible are SMEs, small medium enterprises in the Netherlands. Deadline is January next year. Then I have one example from the NWO, the Dutch Research Council, which focuses on funding for research projects in the field of technical sciences. There's an open call for proposal called Open Technology Program with a total available budget of 21 million euros. This is divided by budget per project up to 850,000 euros. There's no specific deadline, therefore you're able to apply throughout the year. We go to the next slide. Besides these main national directions, which are very good for Dutch companies applying individually or as a collaboration, we also have per region, or in Dutch, provincie, different funding directions. I will just give a few examples. First of all, the SNN. In Dutch, Samenwerkingsverband Noord-Nederland. And in English, the North Netherlands Alliance. The SNN is a partnership of the three northern provinces called Drenthe, Friesland, Groningen, and the four largest cities in the north of Holland, Assen, Emmen, Groningen, and Leeuwarden. The second funding level on regional funding level is Op-Zuid and focuses on the south. The provinces Noord-Brabant, Limburg, and Zeeland. And fun fact about Op-Zuid, Noord-Brabant is still a front runner in Dutch private R&D expenditure. And the third example is Op-Oost and focuses on the East, the provinces Overijssel and Gelderland. And a new program of Op-Oost will be expected to be announced very soon. Then I have here some examples of the SNM. There's an open call for proposal, R&D collaboration Northern Netherlands with a total available budget of 2 million euros. And this is divided per grant per project, budget per project, which is 350,000 euros. And the deadline is in September. And another example for the South, Op-Zuid, there's a call for proposal, smart trailer digitization and sustainability with a total available budget of almost 260,000 euros, which will be then after divided per project and a deadline in the end of 2023. As you can see, there are lots of options out there for Dutch companies to apply for both nationally and per region. And there are also a lot of options on European level. Horizon Europe is the key funding program of the EU and facilitates collaboration and strengthens the impact of research and innovation in developing, supporting, and implementing EU policies while tackling global challenges. Horizon Europe's projects have usually high rewards. Some grants can go up to 5 to 7 million euros per consortium that gets divided by the role of the partners in the consortium.
Okay, great. So let's talk a bit about the consortium more specifically. This is actually a collaborative project between 3 or more participants, like we mentioned, usually from different EU states or associated countries. And when we talk about the partners, we usually mean universities, research organizations, SMEs, startups, industrial partners, or natural persons. And the first stage of a consortium and the consolidation of it is to match the proposal call to a company that is actually looking to work on an application which aligns very well with the call. In many of the cases, this participant would be the contributor of the consortium. And after this stage, there comes the targeting of participants who will work on an application that will work with or supplement the application of the contributor. And the contributing participants come from different areas of expertise to work on their development while aiding the development of the application that the contributor is looking to promote. Finally, a consortium coordinator is assigned to the whole project. This could be one of the participants in some cases, and others it's actually an external entity. And it is up to the coordinator to target participants and to have all the procedure aligned with the European Commission.
So how does it work for you as a client? The strategist publishes your profile to all relevant projects in the European Commission portal through the partner search, whether it is to connect you to big existing consortia for joining projects as a partner, or to consolidate a consortium when the client can coordinate the project and needs specific partners to participate.
Okay, so let's talk a bit on the EU level, because some of the programs are bottom-up, meaning open to all fields, and you don't need any partners to submit, actually. Under the European Innovation Council, we have the EAC Accelerator, previously known as the SME instrument. This is the most popular and hence the most competitive program under Horizon Europe. Funding is up to 2.5 million euros in grants for R&D and up to 15 million euros in equity investment. You can apply as a single entity, which means there's no requirement for a consortium. The technology readiness level must be high, so at least 5. The first stage is actually a short application. We don't have any deadline for this. The second stage is a full submission and has upcoming deadlines on the 15th of June, 2022 or 5 October 2022. This program is actually open to all fields of technology, like I mentioned. The EAC Pathfinder, previously known as FET Open, is my other example of a funding opportunity under the EAC. It targets the realization of an ambitious vision for radically new technology with potential to create new markets and or to address global challenges. EAC Pathfinder supports early stage development of future technologies based on high risk, high gain breakthrough research. There are actually 2 types of calls, challenge driven and open. The 6 topics of challenge driven calls are, just to give an example, healthcare continuous technologies, DNA-based digital data storage. There are others, of course, and the deadline of the EAC Pathfinder challenges is going to be the 19th of October 2022. The expected outcome of the project is a proof of principle that the main ideas of the envisioned technology are actually feasible, and that's validating the scientific and the technological basis. The current deadline for the EAC Pathfinder Open, bottom-up, just closed on May 3rd. And the new EAC Pathfinder Open is planned to be published by February or March next year. Now I'll go into Eureka, which I'll talk about the Partnerships on Innovative SMEs, previously known as Eurostars. It's a joint program co-funded by national bodies from 36 countries and the European Union under the Eureka umbrella. The goal is to achieve proof of concept within 2 years after the start of the project. The product should be on the market or clinical trials should start. Participation types are SMEs from EU member states and associated countries. The application setting requires a consortium, so you must include a minimum of 2 partners from at least 2 Eurostars countries. A typical consortium consists of 3 partners. Eurostars has multiple deadlines throughout the year, about twice a year. The 15th of September 2022 is the next available option. I'll give some examples of Eureka bottom-up calls. Eureka the Netherlands, Eurostars joint transitional call for proposals. The deadline is going to be on the 15th of September 2022. Eureka the Netherlands Global Stars Brazil with an expected deadline of 11th of October 2022. And Eureka the Netherlands Open Call, the deadline is actually continuously, so that means it's open pretty much throughout the year.
Good. So we gave an overview of opportunities for companies in Holland, but not only on the national level, regional level, but also EU level.
Right. So as to our proposition, we know that the abundance of funding opportunities out there can become challenging to navigate because of the complexity that is actually part of the submission process, in addition to many details and guidelines that every opportunity entails, which is why we developed a unique method to increase our clients' access to funding while minimizing their efforts. We call this our multi-submission approach, which in a nutshell says submit to one, submit to all. The process starts off with a strategist, as Caroline explained, moves on to consolidating the consortium or writing the proposal. The proposal is then finalized by our development team and is ultimately reviewed by the team leader prior to submission.
Exactly. So actually by following this method of submission, our strategists and consultants are able to get a firmer grasp on the activity of your company, especially your technology.
This actually allows us to write a better submission because then we gain more knowledge and more depth of knowledge of what you're doing as a company.
Moreover, as a submitting company applying to various opportunities, you will have less work to do, be it financially or in terms of manpower, because we will work with your technology and tailor it to fit multiple proposal calls.
And of course, lastly, I guess we're all kind of asking that question a lot. This method actually raises your chances of winning a grant quite immensely. Okay, so later on, our marketing team will send a follow-up email with a link to book a call. Please feel free to book a one-on-one meeting through the link. We look forward to hearing from you and we thank you for your time. Thank you, Caroline, as well, for joining me.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.